Welcome to the iFilm channel. If you like what you see, please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, and consider sharing the video as well. The garden scene, or the Roundhay garden scene, is created in the 1880. It is a short silent film recorded by French inventor Louis Le Prince, filmed at Oakwood Grange in Roundhay, Leeds in the north of England. The footage is believed to be the oldest surviving film in existence. According to Le Prince's son Adolphe, the film was made at Oakwood Grange, the home of Joseph and Sarah Whitley, in Roundhay, Leeds, West Riding of Yorkshire, England on 14 October 1888. The footage features Louis' son Adolphe Le Prince, his mother-in-law Sarah Whitley, his father-in-law Joseph Whitley, and Annie Hartley in the garden of Oakwood Grange, just leisurely walking around the garden of the premises. Sarah is seen walking or even dancing backwards as she turns around, and Joseph's coattails are seen flying as he is also turning. Joseph and Sarah Whitley were the parents of Le Prince's wife, Elizabeth. Annie Hartley is believed to be a friend of Le Prince and his wife. Sarah Whitley died 10 days after the scene was filmed. This film is history. Knowing that this is presumably the oldest surviving film, you got to look and wonder how far we have come in the art of motion picture. Dixon Greeting is a 3-second silent film created by William Dixon, a Scottish inventor known for his contribution to early film production. Dixon worked for Thomas Edison and is credited as the inventor of the first practical celluloid film. He and his team at the Edison lab also developed the kinetoscope and the later kinetograph, which he used to exhibit and film early movies. Dixon Greeting was filmed at Edison's Black Maria studio using the kinetograph. The film was shown to an audience at the National Federation of Women's Club, making it one of the first films publicly presented. Pauvre Pierrot, or better known as Poupette, is an 1892 French short animated film directed by Amélie Renaud. It consists of 500 individually painted images and lasts about 15 minutes. It is one of the first animated films ever made, and alongside Le Clown et ses Chiens and Ombombok was broadcast in October 1892, when Amélie Renaud opened his Theatre Optique at Musicovine, Paris. It was the first film to demonstrate the Theatre Optique system developed by Renaud in the 1888, and is also believed to be the first usage of film perforation. The combined performance of all three films was known as Pantomimes Lumineuses. These were the first animated picture publicly broadcasted by means of picture bands. Renaud gave the whole presentation himself, manipulating these images. The Corbett Fitzsimmons Fight is a documentary film depicting a boxing match between James J. Corbett and Bob Fitzsimmons in Carson City, Nevada on St. Patrick's Day in 1897. The film was directed by Enoch J. Rector and was originally over 100 minutes long, making it the first feature-length film ever produced. It was the longest film ever created at the time and was possibly because of a technology called the Latham loop, which Rector claimed he invented. The documentary was also the first film to be shot in widescreen with an aspect ratio of 1.65:1. Today, only fragments of the film survive, and it was added to U.S. National Film Registry at the Library of Congress in 2012. Carmencita was another film created by William Dixon while he worked under Thomas Edison. The short film was named for Carmencita Jose Moreno, the dancer performing in the movie. It was one of the several Edison short films that featured circus and vaudeville acts. Carmencita was the first woman to be filmed by an Edison motion picture camera, and she may also have been the first woman to ever appear in a film in the United States. In the film, Carmencita performs the dance routine she had been doing at Coste and Bell's Music Hall in New York City since 1890. The Execution of Mary Stuart is a short film produced in 1895. The film depicts the execution of Mary, Queen of Scots. It is the first known film to use special effect, specifically the stop trick. The 18-second long film was produced by Thomas Edison and directed by Arthur Clarke, and may have been the first film in history to use trained actors, as well as the first to use editing for the purpose of special effects. The film shows a blindfolded Mary played by Mr. Robert L. Thomay, a male actor in Shakespeare tradition also for a female cast, being led to the execution block. The executioner raises his axe as an edit occurs during which the actor is replaced by a mannequin. The mannequin head is chopped off and the executioner holds it in the air as the film ends. Public showcase of 10 short films by Auguste and Louis Lumière in 1895 is often considered a landmark event in the history of motion picture. It was one of the earliest public screening to charge an admission and the first to show several films in one sitting. The first of Lumiere brothers' first 10 film was recorded in the early 1895, with the other 9 filming sometimes after that. The films were shown at Salon Indien du Grand Café in Paris on December 28, 1895, and the brothers went on tour with the films in 1896. They showed the films in Brussels, Bombay, London, Montreal, New York City, and Buenos Aires. The Blacksmith Scene is a 34-second short film. It is one of the most historically significant films ever made because it was the first film to be shown to the public using the kinetoscope. It is also one of the earliest known movies to show actors performing a role. The film was directed by William Dixon, who invented the first fully functional motion picture camera while he was working for Thomas Edison. In 1995, over 100 years after the film was made, Blacksmith Scene was selected for the preservation by the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. A surviving 35mm print of the new film was found at the Henry Ford Museum, and a copy of the negative is preserved by the Museum of Modern Art Film Archive. Le Magnon du Diable, or The House of the Devil, is released in the United States as The Haunted Castle, and in Britain as The Devil's Castle. It is an 1896 French short silent film directed by Georges Méliès. The film, which depicts a brief pantomime sketch in the style of a theatrical comic fantasy, tells the story of an encounter with the devil and various attendant phantoms. It is intended to evoke amusement and wonder from its audiences, rather than fear. However, because of its themes and characters, the film has been considered to be technically the first horror film. Such a classification can also be attributed to the film depiction of a human transforming into a bat, a plot element which has led some observers to label the work to be the first vampire film. The film was also innovative in length. Its running time of over 3 minutes was ambitious for its era. A single remake was produced 1 year later under the title Le Château Hanté, or The Haunted Castle, which is often confused with this film. This film was presumably lost until 1988, when a copy was found in New Zealand Film Archive. But there is indeed some lost film, and we will talk about that in another time. A Trip to the Moon is often regarded as one of the greatest films ever made. It was created again by Georges Méliès and is best known of his hundreds of films he has ever made. The scene of space capsule landing in the moon's eye is one of the most iconic images in the history of cinema. Méliès' film was influenced by Jules Verne's novels From the Earth to the Moon and Around the Moon. It depicts a group of astronomers traveling to the moon in a cannon-propelled capsule to explore the moon's surface. The film was an international success and was often pirated by other studios. Several elements of the film, including its length, high production values, innovative special effects, and the focus on storytelling, influenced later generation of filmmakers.